Fnaf 3 has one massive flaw, and it all has to do with this sound effect. And that's because it completely nullifies the usefulness of the camera system. This sound only ever plays under one condition: Springtrap's proximity to you. As Springtrap enters camera 5, the sound starts playing quietly in the background, and when he enters camera 2, it plays at its loudest. This effectively means that you can always tell what zone of the map he's in just by listening to the ambience in the background. If you hear nothing, he'll always be in this zone of the map. If it's quiet, you know he's always in these parts of the map, and if it's loud, you know he's always in this part of the map. And the community has created two strats to beat the game, specifically using this knowledge to completely break the game. The Cam 6 strat revolves around keeping Springy around Cam 6 and using audio to know exactly where he goes. If he moves and you don't hear the ambience, you know he moved to camera 7, and this allows you to pivot strats if wanted, or pull him right back to camera 6 to restart the process. And if he moves and the ambience starts playing, you know he moved to camera 5, where you can again choose to pivot strats or pull him back. The other strat is the Cam 2 strat. The Cam 2 strat revolves around keeping Springtrap in and around the camera 2 area, and more or less just letting him roam freely until he moves in front of your window. When he's in front of your window, you can more or less safely just pull him directly back to camera 2. When the ambience disappears, and you don't hear him crawl into a vent, you just pull him back to camera 5 and let him once again roam freely until he stumbles back in front of your window, where you can once again repeat the process. But when playing aggressive nightmare mode, you can't rely on just one of these strategies if you want to see more consistent victories. Springtrap is simply too fast for that. So, for a better chance of beating A&M, you need to know when to switch strategies. That usually being when Springtrap gets to camera 2 or in front of your window. If you've been trying to beat Fnaf 3 A&M and trapping him at camera 9 or 10 simply doesn't seem to work for you, try a mix of these two strats and I think you'll start seeing improvements in your attempts. Both of these strats avoid phantom heavy cameras like 7, 8, and 4 and allows the player to easily conserve their resources while always keeping track of Springtrap, because this annoying little whistle gives the player all the information they could ever possibly need. This is, in my opinion, a huge blunder from a gameplay standpoint. Scott had found such an elegant way to finally give the cameras an actual function in gameplay, and then completely butchered it as soon as he thought adding a loud and obvious danger ambience to the game was a good idea. Yes, the cameras are still useful until he reaches camera 5, as there are no easy indicators of his proximity there, but after that it becomes so trivial to keep track of his location, the cameras return to being borderline useless again, just because of one poorly executed audio design choice. The execution of this idea was done best in Fnaf 1 by far, and I highly recommend watching Omencito's video on the subject as he explains it wonderfully.